Right.
Hello, I'm Brian Telefly, and you're listening to Let's Show Now. Tonight, we are joined by everyone's favourite Curry Kitten.
Hello.
See, and we got the proper hello, not the chat GBT, whatever that intro was. We got the proper eat one finger at a time Kit Kat munching Curry Kitten. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that felt good. Everyone's favourite man with moustache.
Hello. Having no luck with planes over here. It's all gone wrong.
And the man who saved us from DJI and us getting shouted at.
I don't know who that is.
Our resident camera expert. It's Cole.
Camera sort of person.
Thank you, Jack.
In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Basically, it's good as that.
Yeah.
Them's the rules.
That's it.
So
Jack's done his
we've
intro.
had
He's
our
gone.
English summer. It's come. It's gone. There was about a day and a half where the sun came out between the clouds, and now the fields are busy filling up and becoming lakes again.
This is my face all this week. Was like, on Thursday, I checked the forecast. I said Monday looks good for flying. It looks calm, and the weather looks good. I will plan to fly on Monday, and I've got my Open HD wing and quad. I fixed the telemetry problem on the quad. All was working. So then I checked the forecast again on Sunday. And it's like Monday is now 60 to 80% rain. Oh, well, it's definitely going to rain then. I won't bother. And Monday rolls round and it's beautiful and the wind is low and there's no rain. And it's like, well, that's annoying. I was like, never mind. It says Tuesday's going to be fine. I will charge up for Tuesday. And then my wife said, I need you to wait in for 2 deliveries, which one is at 9 a.m. and one is at 2 p.m. But they're both like, we will deliver from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. at 12 p.m. and the other one's like 12 till 4. So it's like, oh, okay. So I'm staying in all day. So I thought I will charge up for Wednesday. So I actually charged the batteries, and then Wednesday is blowing 20 mile an hour winds, and I don't quite trust this wing enough to launch it, put it in return to home, and actually have it to circle around while I try and get a video sorted out. So basically, I haven't been flying. Boo.
Oh, you're muted, Stephen.
It was a wee bit gusty. I did go out and fly a couple of packs through this little 4-inch 5S Terror that I built a while ago. But yeah, it wasn't great. It was flying really well the last time I flew it, and it was struggling in the wind, quite appreciably struggling. But it was fun, and I got some people at the skate park came up to me and said, "Oh, is it you flying the drones?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I don't be near, I don't want to be near anyone. Oh, sorry." And he's like, "No. When it's quiet, you should bring around a quad and film us. That would be cool." Oh, right, okay, that's nice. I'll try and find a time when there's no little kids around and it's quiet. We're not going to attract any unwanted attention, and film some skaters. So that'd be cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I flew on Sunday, and it was 29 degrees here, and then the next day it was snowing.
How is that even possible?
Canada.
Southwestern
Canada.
Ontario. Yeah. But yeah, I got to, oh geez, my background thing. But yeah, I got to mate in my Apex Kiss Ultra V2 and flies like a charm. Flies
Very
great.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you rip the Lowe's car park, or was this somewhere else?
So, oh no, I didn't fly at the Lowe's parking lot. No, you're right. So actually, we were gonna, my girlfriend and I, we were gonna go have a picnic with one of her friends at this local park after we went and picked up some sandwiches from this place. Well, happened to be that the sandwich shop burnt down 2 hours before we got there, and there's all these like fire trucks and everything around, and we're just like, oh, I guess we're not getting sandwiches here. Luckily, they had a second location, 10-minute drive down the street. But then we go to the park that we were planning on going to, and the whole park was under construction. They were removing tons of stuff, which actually turned out in my favor because there was all of these, front loaders and basically big construction machinery. So I got to maiden this and rip around there. And I also actually flew out a little local ski hill. So I got to fly around like the ski lifts and whatnot. No one was around. It's pretty quiet this time of year. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That sounds
That was
pretty
fun.
successful. Well done.
Yeah, no crashes, and just I can't believe how good it flies just on the Ultra default tune. It's really good.
Big success. Well done,
Yep.
mate. Nice. So this is your first experience of Ultra then?
It is. Yep, indeed. My first Kiss
what was
Ultra
your take?
experience.
What impression did it make going from old Kiss to Ultra? What did you notice?
So I came from Kiss V1, like the original V1, and now I'm on Kiss Ultra V2. I would say so. I guess I should preface it with my other Apex it's basically identical build with but it has Kiss V1, it has the Wolf PDB for OSD, and basically it's got the VLOX motors, whereas on my new quad I have the F40 Pros. So same KV, just the F40s are, I guess, a little better or whatever. Going from the V1 to the Ultra V2, I would say, I hate to say it, but they both fly really well. I mean, I've never actually flown a Kiss quad that doesn't fly well, but there's just some really good quality of life things with the new Ultra V2. It's like, I've got the built-in OSD. I don't have to run a separate PDB just to get OSD with it. It just flies so smooth right out of the box that there's no complaints about it there. I mean, there's definitely I don't know. There's a slight different feel to it, I would say, but I don't know. Ultra V2 flies great. I still say V1 flies great, but yeah, I think that V2 is definitely a big upgrade for sure.
Do you find if you push it to the edges of flight performance, where you might be in extreme prop wash or the extreme end of your throttle, does it behave differently?
I mean, I've only really run about 8 packs through it, and I didn't really I was in actually 3 different scenarios. So, I mean, I was mostly just kind of cruising and just kind of getting a feel for it. I did do some flips and rolls and see how it goes, and I mean, the prop wash handling was good. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to complain about it. The Ultra V2 just seems to work really well. I think I'm gonna try to push the tune a little more. I did notice a couple little bounces or a little bit of prop wash, but that could have also been my own flying. That induced some of that. But yeah, I was on the Discord with some of the Ultra guys, and they were saying, just try pushing the tune a little more, because if you're on the defaults, you can definitely go a little higher. So
everyone always mentions the golden starting presets.
Yep,
they seem to be the go-to place, right? Is that what you're on?
I mean, yeah.
There's the other Kiss flyer here.
Oh, he's coughing
Jack
there.
While he has a big sneeze there. Oh.
Yeah.
We'll back to him in just a second.
Well, the other interesting thing too is that on the Kiss V1 they use the MPU 6000, whereas on the Ultra V2 it's not. I can't remember the actual gyro.
It was an IIM, wasn't it? Because we had Alex talking about that.
Yeah,
and he was
it's one of the
virtues of an IIM 6 something. I remember it wasn't an ICM; it was an IIM.
Yeah. So I guess I wouldn't be able to just, I guess, directly steal my old tune because they're going to be a little different, I guess. But I mean, I don't exactly know how all that works. I'm not a.
It should be the same, reasonably the same PID wise, but where there'd be differences is how much noise you're getting from the gyro. So you might need slightly different filtering. I don't know if you have a lot of tweakables on the filtering, or if filtering is just.
I think it's like low, medium, high, and off, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
We got an adaptive filter, or you can set a certain frequency to ignore.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack knows better than me. I'm a bit out of the loop when it comes to the really
tends to blindside people when they swap gyros. You think you're going to get the same data. You set the same sampling rate. You're dealing with the same kind of precision of data, but then you figure that actually one gyro was doing a whole bunch of filtering in hardware, and you didn't realize, and then you look at the new gyro data and it seems incredibly noisy, but what's actually happening is that the new gyro isn't doing all that filtering behind the scenes. So sometimes that can be a bit of a surprise. Yeah,
I'll have to experiment with it more and test some things out and see how it goes. It's Yeah, it's interesting too because there's in the Kiss GUI when you're doing in the tuning section, there's Kiss default, there's Ultra default, but then if you put experimental mode on, there's like this like low, medium, and high that Crunked had a lot to do with. I think he had all to do with, I should say. I haven't actually gone to those experimental tunes yet, but I next time I go out and fly, I'm going to try them out, see what it does. So
Yeah, that tends to be a thing that you need to get the really aggressive prop wash handling. If you're trying to push a tune to account for prop wash, then you've got to hit a line between the noise you're getting from the gyro and the frequency of that oscillation of the prop wash. And if you filter out too much of the prop wash, you can't respond to it. But if you don't filter out enough of the gyro noise, then you don't get smooth flight. So you're kind of walking that line between balancing gyro noise with the actual environmental noise that you want to pay attention to.
Okay. I can show you guys a couple little clips if you want of the flight. Yeah. Let's see
Show
here.
what you see
All
for
right.
all our audio listeners.
Share screen.
Almost entirely audio listenership. Although, hello everyone in the chat and thank you.
Yeah. Happy 420, numbskull.
Oops, I guess I should click it properly. Oh, is that going to just show that? Okay, that's not right. Give me a second here, guys. Sorry.
Shared the wrong window.
I did.
No.
Share win. Okay, here we go.
He's still settling in.
Yeah. So here we go. So is it going to give it? It's a little choppy, I guess, but maybe if I don't do it full screen, it's a bit better.
Resharing YouTube over this is kind of problematic.
Oh, this is all local.
What's smooth and what's not.
But
oh yeah.
But I mean,
All right.
It is so good. I mean, I'll just say like it flies like a dream. This is like the.
It just flew over a road. Oh dear!
What are you talking about? There was a blur. There was a blur over the whole video at that point. I didn't see a road.
That's how it works. As long as it's
four-lane highway. What four-lane highway didn't happen?
No, and you know that was a Sunday morning. No one was out. It was fine.
Anyway, while we're looking at this SD card that you found in the park, do you want to tell us about what your experiences were?
So I took off. It was this little construction zone that actually used to be tennis courts. So it's all dirt. It was a little, when I first took off, it was actually really dusty. And I was like, oh crap, my motors might not like that. But, you know, there's like front loaders or whatever you want to call those. And just kind of ripped around them in this sort of park area. But it's actually like it's not really a park
in
anymore.
America, Canada, I should say. Whenever there's construction sites and you visit them, no one is actually doing any work. Whereas, not on a Sunday morning, no. yeah. Maybe I'm just not getting up early enough in the morning.
Yeah,
well, this was about either chained off completely, like you can't get into the site without hopping over a barbed wire fence, or if it is open, people are working on it.
Yeah, you know what I've noticed is the bigger cities, they have tons of security cameras fenced off like crazy. Smaller cities, they're just like, yeah, it's fine. Like,
they cover it with plywood, and they post around.
You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Yeah. Okay, so I will share one last thing here. Sorry, guys. So on the more not near.
Your mic is actually a little bit hot at the moment.
Oh, is it?
Okay. Yeah, it was okay.
How is that? Is that better? That should be better now.
Yeah, that's cool. It was just breaking up a little bit when you were getting enthusiastic, I think.
Sounds about right. Yeah. All right. So this is at the little local ski hill. This was actually the maiden flight right here. The first time I ever actually flew the Kiss Ultra, and I hate that it's so choppy on the stream, but I mean this thing just flies like it just flies well.
Nice area to just go cruising around, isn't it? It's a lovely spot. We're looking at a ski run there, and he was just carving down past all the ski lift poles. It's really nice.
Yeah. I guess I should fast forward past what song I was playing. But yeah, it's, no one's around. It's off season because it's spring right now. They do have bikers there in the summer, but yeah, it's a great place to fly. It's actually my second time flying there, and I mean, zero complaints about the Kiss Ultra and this build, man. The Kiss Ultra V2. It's just Just somehow
miss a
flies.
beat.
You ever see any guys on bikes to chase down the hill?
I have in the past, but the thing was, I wasn't as experienced, I guess, or not quite as experienced as I am now. I was a little bit like nervous when I would see people, whereas now, like, I would probably rip behind somebody and
It's
and
pretty
kinda
tricky to follow people down hills as well, isn't it? Because it messes with your angle and everything.
Oh,
You
true.
end up picking
Yeah.
up so much speed.
But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I just kind of went up and down and around, and I think next time I go, I'm gonna try and actually go through some of those ski lift openings. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, through the chairs.
Yeah.
That'd be
That'd
cool.
be pretty sweet. Yeah, like
That looks like a lot of fun. I'd be doing spirals up and down those lifts, definitely.
A slight change of tangent. So what is... Obviously, Jack normally terrifies sheep if he's in the area and it's at least worries them. So what's the reason for this? Did you go out... Last time you were near sheep, your quad turned into a sheep because you tried to turn over in...
Yeah, that happened again because I
Again?
landed. Yeah, and
Do you not learn from the doing it the first time? If you just do it again and
from
again,
the massive
it's like...
amount of filth that you managed to shove into your props.
I know.
where is that picture? I know it's... Oh, I know where it is.
It was about 50%
approximately 3
wool,
fleeces
50%
attached to his quad.
shit, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we say fleece. What we actually mean is a well-soiled fleece that's been on the sheep out in the field for a couple of seasons. Not this lovely fluffy thing you might buy in a store.
That done particularly well on Instagram.
Oh my word! Look at that! Look at that! Oh,
Look at that!
Like
you don't see that sort of brownness on the regular sheep.
Oh,
that sheep's been ill.
Oh, that's rough. That's
so I followed Tony up the old hill, and then made the mistake of following him up there, and not having enough battery to get home.
Do you have video? Because you
Tony's
started playing
cruising around
something
with his
earlier.
big long range 7-inch, and you got caught short.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So Tony's up here, and I'm flying at this tiny little speck. One's a dark speck, one's a white speck, and Tony's in dark clothes.
I can't see any specks.
And then the white is the dog, and I see him give him a wiggle, and then come back, and then obviously not paid attention at how far that actually is, and then coming in, and then all of a sudden,
oh no,
sinking, can't keep up,
oh,
straight into the wet grass.
What? So you're just sagging to hell and back?
Yeah, with 6S, it your
drops.
voltage really falls down, and very, very quickly. When you get sort of like towards the end, it really, really drops right off.
Catches up on you. Yeah.
I thought you were going head first into that or into those bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
How's the quad? How's the quad after that?
She was fine. No problem.
That's good.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
You're having better luck these days, which is heartening to hear. You're not like landing and trashing too many bills.
Yeah, this is the bit. This is the bit. Am I allowed to show people the lady who told me off? I don't know.
She told you off for assaulting that piece of the field.
Yeah, public area. Yeah.
Public area. You can film what you like.
Yeah, hang on. So,
grass murderer.
Hang on. Here, this is the return of. See that patch there?
Oh,
I decide. Yeah. I know.
Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing?
That's not a landing mat. That's bits of spare sheep.
And now your quad is infested.
No.
Infested.
Once again.
I mean, it was a pretty good cushion, I guess, for it.
Yeah.
Take a little nap.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
I guess you could say feces are cushions. That's just a different.
Why are your knees wet? Whose knees are wet?
Was nice enough to rescue me, and he was like pulling bits of cloth out,
shearing it as he goes.
God damn it!
Man,
Worse than my Furballs. Thank you, Frank.
Wow.
Yeah, that bit I had to just.
heinous.
I
Absolutely heinous.
Hey, look at Frank, upside down Frank.
Well, hopefully his knees
Oh, upside
recovered
down,
from
Frank.
the dampness.
Thank
I
you for
guess
your-
I know. I didn't
What
notice
rescue?
he had bloody damp knees.
This
hang on.
is
probably
very
just-
dodgy. The reasons for
Yeah.
damp knees are being now talked about.
Thoroughly. It's been brainstormed, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed weird things like that. Sorry, guys.
Well, at least you guys got to go out, so that's pretty cool. I saw some ELRS news earlier by looking on Facebook.
What,
I noticed
the
someone is trying out the 433 because people
433.
weren't happy enough from getting 100 kilometers out of 2.4, presumably longer from 866. And this guy, I think, tested to 45 kilometers at 10 milliwatts on
Jeez.
433.
Sounds good.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
the point is though, it's like at those sort of mega distances, the Earth is curved. Sorry, Tony, and you're gonna have to get up pretty high to deal with it. And Wes is already in trouble after that one. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I
what we
guess
got
what
now?
you're looking for with that kind of radio output is not just to be in trouble with the government of the country that you're living in, but potentially other neighboring governments as well as you aggressively cross borders with your aircraft.
It's
Yeah.
tricky to think about why you'd want to go back to 433. 433 was always
Well, there's
tricky
the
to
cash
get
prize,
right.
if we can talk about that. I mean,
Oh, I didn't know about this. I just saw some posts. Please elaborate.
someone put a $400,000 cash prize for anyone who could land a drone in Red Square during the military parades. I think it's $440,000. Yeah.
Could you use
Can you
that
put
to
that towards
bribe
his
your
legal
way out?
defense?
Yeah, literally. Wow. Yeah, just fly analog. Don't have remote ID set up.
I think it was
and-
an American entrepreneur who obviously had a connection to the Ukraine and thought this would be a wonderful idea if during a giant elaborate communist tank parade
It would be a fun jape, wouldn't it?
It would be a jape.
I think I'd watch that.
the mirth.
The mirth. Yes. Oh, the being murdered remotely by Russian espionage agents.
no.
Wonderful. Lovely.
Like,
Finally finding
how
out
much
what rice
palladium
and
do you
tape
like in your
like.
tea?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was Frank's comment. Like, oh, that's nice, but I like my tea without polonium. And yeah, I'd have to agree. While I'm a coffee drinker, I do very much like it without a radioactive helping on the side.
Does the overexposed footage upset you, Kai?
Me?
Doesn't just upset him, it throws him into a rage.
It does.
Cole,
Well,
apply the restraints.
Must not complain. No, Tony actually just popped in and said, "Is this DVR?" I think he assumed that was digital DVR. But that's okay. I will guide you on the settings next time, Jack. You must use the app and check before you fly.
Mm-hmm.
Or just apply a LUT on it, like with no kind of care or attention, and just YOLO it onto YouTube like 90% of FPV pilots do with a nice neon logo. You'll be fine.
With some really bad music. And then
absolutely.
I made something last Friday.
Oh,
do you want to see it?
Yes, show us.
Where's our disclaimer?
Oh,
a shirt.
Let the fun begin.
Right.
That
in doesn't look
Stephen
right.
It inspired neon.
That's not right at all.
No.
What isn't right about it, Stephen?
What isn't right about it? Look at the color of the cables. Look at where the cables are. The square side is the red side.
Yeah.
The curved side is the black side.
So Jack, you made that.
Oh,
you drew that out by hand and printed it, and one of one.
Yeah. No, there is a small available. I done a test shirt, so it's only a small. But if anyone wants it, it's there.
Huh, very cool.
But
Great idea.
yeah. Red on the square side, definitely. So what I was holding up was a T-shirt with a badly drawn XT60, and the color of the wires were going into the wrong polarity, and written above it in childish handwriting was "Let the fun begin."
That is such a niche joke. Like,
Yeah,
you'd really
but I
have
doubt
to.
anyone's going to get it.
Yeah,
That's
and
okay,
most
though.
people wouldn't know just by looking at it either. So you really are pushing it.
There can
Although-
be a problem with those T-shirts, though. Is like if people do get it, they want to point out that they get it. I used to have that there are 10 types of people in the world: those that understand binary and those who don't.
Excuse
And-
me,
and
I
then, like,
understand your T-shirt.
Yes, people would either say, "I get that," and feel like you should, like, I should say, well, "Congratulations, you're also a nerd," or other people that didn't understand it would be like, "Well, I don't understand how 10 people and you've only got 2 there." So it was bad because I don't like
It's a
interacting with people,
lose situation.
and that made all the people interact with me, which was bad.
Huh.
I've even got a T-shirt that says, "You've read this T-shirt. That's enough social interaction for the day." And people then come up and say, "I like your T-shirt." It's like, read it then and understand and stop talking to me.
Yeah, but having a shirt like that is almost asking for people to talk to you.
I think
And
the
No,
correct
it's
response
asking
is
for
just to
people
scream
not
at
to
them
talk to
and
me
walk away.
because you. Oh.
yeah, but people will see, don't talk to me. They're gonna go, ooh, I'm gonna do the opposite of what his shirt says.
Well, then
So,
he might get
guys,
stabbed.
on the XT60, I've made up a funny adapter that takes an XT60 to the quad and allows you to attach 2 XT30s to it in series.
Nice.
Oh, well, that's neater than my things where I've got like cables.
And it was for this.
Ooh,
It
I
was
see some
for
T motors.
quad.
Are those T motors?
In
They
parallel,
could well
yeah?
be T-Motor, but they're branded by everyone's favorite pyro
Curry Kitten?
boutique, Fetec.
Huh.
And yeah, I had an interesting experience because I finally decided to fix up this quad, which I've been talking about for ages, the 10S Weirdo quad, and to attach the battery instead of using the suggested means of lots of tiny kind of 16 gauge wire and XT30s, I put a big fat 12 gauge on there and then kept the
Jolly
XT30 runs as short as possible. So we've got 2 XT30 5Ss connected in series to give you a 10S.
Huh.
And I swapped out the Fetec flight controller for a Matec because I didn't trust it, because I was plugged in the ESC and it just started smoking. And I'm not sure whether that's how it came from the factory or I had it was second hand, so maybe someone futzed with it. It certainly looked like the JSTs had been kind of baked on after the fact. There were scorch marks on them, so I'm just a bit wary of the whole thing. And there was a lot of kind of suspicious smoke and a few sparks and pops, which seemed to go away like it was something bad that was burning off, but engendered a sense of fear in me. So I'm being very careful about this one, and the build is going fairly slowly right now.
To be fair,
Yeah.
I don't ever think there's a case for non-suspicious smoke. Any smoke seems dodgy, doesn't it?
It seems to work, and it makes the funny "aren't we different" ESC sound effect. They don't all initialize at the same time. There's a little bit of a kind of stagger, but the ESCs spin the motors.
That one?
Yeah, they do the funny sound effect, which you just,
Yeah.
I mean, I could plug it in, but Cole did a wonderful
I hate that
impersonation.
noise. It's the worst.
Yeah. They seem to initialize, and I can spin the motors, and I get ESC telemetry using the standard UART protocol, which Fetec call one wire, but it's just regular serial UART. That works fine. And so I can read the ESC temperatures on all of them. I can read the RPM, but I can't use it for RPM telemetry because it's over serial instead of it doesn't initialize if you enable bidirectional D-shot. It's not capable of that. But I'm just going to run it off of there's a Matec F405, which is good for 12S. It's got its own special little it's kind of, they've broken out the voltage regulators and put them on a little board in the middle of the flight controller, he says, holding the frame up to the camera. You might be able to see a little board in the middle of the flight controller that's a different color. It's like there's a daughter board in the middle that enables it to have separated voltage control from all the logic. I guess if you flame out the voltage regulator, you can pull off the daughter board and put another one on.
Huh.
So here's my question.
Noise.
It's getting there. Why?
For me and potentially other people, is what is tennis going to give you? Because obviously, you have to reduce the kV on the motor so they don't
1100.
explode.
1100.
So is it just a case of having even less voltage sag and being able to go full throttle for longer without any sag, or is it something else?
The aware among us might have noticed that Rotor Riot recently did a 5-inch 8S build and were making a big thing of it. And I thought, well, I've got this kit sitting around. Let's do a 10S build, because obviously, LDO have got to step up, and there we are.
Well, obviously, I don't watch those guys anymore. We only like the original Rotor Riot in this household. But was it impressive?
Hater.
Was it way more powerful?
No, not
Yes,
really. I mean, they made cooing noises about how high it punched out, which didn't make any sense, because you'd essentially have the same RPM going to the propellers. It's not higher RPM. It's not more powerful. It's just a slightly different way of achieving the same result. And I just thought it'd be interesting to see how it performed, because I built this 5S 4-inch, so I'd got a bunch of 5S packs that were quite small sitting around, and that kind of left me in a situation where I could put 2 of the small 5S packs together to make a 10S pack. So take a couple of 5S 700s, or I've got a couple of 5S 900s, so I'd have like a 10S 700 or a 10S 900.
Yeah, I did watch that video. They were, I mean, the only thing that I really noticed that they said was like when they would do a dive from ridiculously high, they were able to punch at the last second and still recover. Which
I think you can do that with a 6S build, though. Really,
I
saw what they were doing. Bobby's a pretty good pilot, right?
He's
young. He's got reflexes. You see that his video of him hitting the gaps, like that Steele tried to spend an entire weekend to hit doing that ladder dive, and he just nails it first time. 3 lineups and down. And that tiny gap that Vanover was doing with a big power loop, he just does it like straight off one pack. So I think he's just a good pilot. And if you're a good pilot and you're used to just ripping bandos all the time, you're going to be pretty good at dropping into a dangerous concrete structure and slamming the throttle to avoid hitting the deck. I don't know. I think a lot of it's in the pilot, really. But it just seemed an interesting thing to do. Just a technology showcase, like mess around with something.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what rates they run, because for those types of things, you'd think you'd want a slightly higher rate to be able to react quicker. But I feel like people don't really fly high rates these days, do they? Like not like they used to.
Farouk does. Like Farouk FPV's like 1300 max rate. I think he runs pretty linear as well. But a lot of people do run very, very low rates. But that's mainly because of
high rates.
The excitement over racing.
Yeah. Oh, Jack, you're muted,
Jack's
buddy.
muted.
Just noticed my mic volume keeps cutting down.
You. Sorry, I let Tony have a go of one of my quads, and I plugged in his KISS flight controller. Oh my god, he's got grandma rates.
What's a grandma rate though? Like less than 900 or something?
Like, just so. Hang on, I'll find out. I took a photo.
It does feel weird going down below. I think the defaults on Betaflight are like 667 or something, which is pretty tame.
Yeah, it used to be 700, wasn't it?
Just trying to remember. On a Whoop, I do find around the house, if I'm doing like acro on a Whoop indoors, I go down to like 400 because you need to be so precise. But outdoors are somewhere between 900 and 1200 usually, I guess.
It feels, Stephen, like you will get bored if you haven't got an idea. So what about building the opposite? if
A
you take
1S
like
5-inch.
no, not quite. I'm thinking what you have is 10-inch props, very low kV motors. So traditionally something that you could make fly for a long time, but then you try really ripping it Acro style. What will
Yeah.
happen?
That's a good idea. I did think about following Tony and just experimenting, building like a budget X class, because I was looking at a lot of ESCs and I saw there were these fly color HV3s that were way cheaper than the APD ones. Where the APDs are like in the hundreds to get 160 amp or 200 amp ones, but I think you can get a fly color 160 amp for about kind of 60 or 70 quid, which makes it sort of achievable to do a budget X class. So I could try that. And I think they take AM32 as well, so I could flash them to get a few more useful options on the ESC that might help with the X class.
So Jack
Best of
is
luck,
holding up
Jack.
his laptop here.
Yep. His RC rate is 0.95 on roll. Pitch is 0.80. And yaw is 0.80.
So what's
then-
his degrees per second then?
His rate is 0.67.
Whoa.
And then 6666 on pitch and yaw. I don't know what that is in seconds. Hang on, let me. I'd have to put it in the calculator.
I
It's
was
pretty
just
slow.
going to do that myself. Yeah.
Yeah, my RC rates are like
This rate, so
1.65, 1.65, 1.5. They're like really high, which is probably way too high, but yeah.
It depends. I suppose in order to work out if you're using your full rate is like, do you ever slam the stick against the side? Because if you're not
Yeah.
getting close to doing that,
What's his
then
RC rate and his
not worth it.
super rate, Jack? Like 0.8 and 0.6, was it?
Was it?
I mean, my
0.95 and 0.67.
For super rate, 6.7.
Yeah.
hopefully this will come out on. Take a screenshot.
Yeah, there you go. But it's backwards and it's
see a thing.
Hang on.
You
Let
take
me-
a screenshot. You take a screenshot. Oh, this is great television. Thanks.
Hang on. I'll
so
post.
actually I have a question then actually while you do that, Jack. So with KISS rates, there's RC rate, there's rate, and then there's RC curve. How
Which
does
is
that
Expo, I
translate
guess, right?
to RC curve would be Expo, but how does RC rate/rate compare, or how can that be explained for anybody who's
Isn't
a
RC
noob like
rate
me?
Expo?
No, that'd be RC curve, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry. I always
So-
get them mixed up.
Yeah, like what's the difference between RC rate and rate with KISS?
So
Right.
the RC rate is the regular linear component, and the super rate is how much of an exponential increase you have.
But KISS has this thing called rate, which
Yeah, just
is that
yeah.
equivalent to
Yeah,
super rate?
rate's the linear one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the linear, the RC rate is as you move the stick, the degrees per second. Just if you move the stick twice as much, the RC rate goes up times 2. Right.
Yeah.
So if you go from like 20% deflection to 40% deflection, you've doubled the degrees per second. But if you look at super rate, that controls an exponent. So that means if you crank the super rate, you going from 20 degrees per second to 40 degrees per second, you can end up in a situation where that might, instead of going up by 2, goes up by 4 or 16 and multiplies from there upwards.
I don't know whether I want to share this. Some viewers may find it disturbing, but I got told there's a walker, so I come
Say what you
up
see, Jack.
on the
Walker.
field,
Sheep.
and
Oh, the
then
sheep
I'm
are
not
worried.
aiming at any sheep. I just fly over the sheep.
But he's
And
still
then-
got stuck up a sheep, though.
Yep, and that was me. That was my level of getting in trouble and
That's
terrorizing
not
the
getting
sheep.
in trouble.
Oh, that's Jack
Oh,
Terrifies.
I got a really bad telling off.
From
I'm a
whom?
sheep
A sheep?
terrorizer.
The sheep didn't
I
look
do
like they
apologise for my
noticed you were there.
actions, and I have changed, and I have learned from them.
I hope you've completed the required course.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess back to the rate topic though. I mean, I've only ever really flown high rates. I feel like if I fly a low rate and I'm flying at a bando, I'm scared because I might not be able to react
Yeah.
or have enough of a chance to.
I kind of feel as soon as you've got your rate and you're used to it, that's what you have to stick with, because
Yeah.
things like flips and rolls become more of a timing thing. You're not visually looking; you just know that do that.
Yeah.
You know, my phone needs to be on to do that, and you've done a complete circuit. If you fly someone else's and it's a different rate, you're doing that, and it's like, oh, I'm still upside down, or I haven't even turned all the way around yet.
Yeah.
This used to
Makes
be
sense like
really
that.
good, but it was it doesn't.
I fly actual rates most of the time now, and I tend to leave my center pretty soft, so I've got fine control. Yeah, there's one on desmos.com as well, which is the one I was using just now, and that's got all the bells and whistles on it. So
yeah,
with actual rates, you describe kind of how soft you want it in the center, how many degrees per second you want in the center, and then you define what your max should be, and then you give it an expo value, and that tells you how quickly you transition from the center value to the max value.
So Jack, plug these in because my
It doesn't
RC
work
rate
anymore.
Oh no!
See, the rate is a linear, but yeah, it doesn't calculate anymore. And then the curve adds more of a curve to it, and that's how it works.
You've lost me in your technical language there. The curve adds more curve. Okay.
Yeah, the RC
consider
curve
that one.
adds more expo. Sorry.
What was that called? The pirate something?
Well, it's like the Betaflight rate calculator, and then there's the Betaflight actual rate charts, tuner rate. I can
Yes.
post the link.
I found it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of all that stuff used to work, but it doesn't work anymore. So it's a little bit pointless.
When you say it doesn't work anymore, what do you mean exactly?
Race flight / Betaflight rate chart converter is not working anymore. It doesn't calculate differences between them. You don't really need to do that anymore because in Betaflight you can now just select KISS rates. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Everyone just wants to be like KISS, I guess, and add those features in.
No, you
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just being a dick.
It just allows people to use whatever language they want to use to express it. That's all. Like if you want to describe it as KISS, you can. If you want to speak Betaflight, you can. If you want to use this actual thing, which is like getting all the language out of the way and just saying how fast you want it to go, you can use that.
Yeah.
Hey, Shady. No expo, no feed forward, no anti-gravity. Only Tony can fly as smooth as me.
Whoa. That's a big boast there. Big boast. I mean, anti-gravity is pretty useful. I'll say that. It's pretty handy.
I do quite like the angle for your camera thing, so it keeps the horizon in the correct orientation. I quite like that feature in Betaflight.
What is it?
Oh, yeah. I haven't had the horizon bars on for years, though.
Oh, like just the OSD?
No, you can put in your camera degrees.
Yep.
So it adds a bit of your
to the horizons. Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps everything looking
it's like
quite nice.
It references the rotation axes about the camera instead of about the quad. It's the idea. So when you do a yaw, it's like camera referenced yaw instead of quad referenced.
That sounds like one of your thumbs is lazy and it's not sorting it out.
Yeah, sooner or later you're going to get it wrong. That's the trouble. It's going to be tricky to line it up perfect all the time.
Well, sooner or later I'll get it right, but
yeah,
well,
you can just
one of those
not
things you might as well
just
coordinate the turn. That's why when Jack flew my little AOS 3.5 inch, he was just like, "Oh, this is wrong. You've done something with the camera. Have you added this parameter?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't. But it's at 45 degrees." So when you do a yaw, it feels like you're doing Rolls.
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Because obviously his camera is so off. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
too much. I mean, you can't fly
I mean,
like
it's
that.
not.
But
It's not Blue Owl 60-degree camera. That's too much.
If you're
I
going
couldn't even
fast,
fly
you
that
do
in a
need
sim.
you do need, yeah, but don't you ever just put sims at 50, 55 degrees just to cane it round tracks? Because otherwise it's like,
Oh yeah,
you
but
can't get speed up.
that's. But in reality, I need to fly around, come back, and land, and I can't land if I'm looking at the sky, not accurately.
yeah, but
And
not
like,
all
yeah,
the
I know
time.
it's.
Close disarm.
I know it's traditional to either just like disarm
away
in midair
carefully.
and roll on the grass, or land in sheep and stuff like Jack does, or crash
Someone
upside down into
Find
a
where
hill.
you're about to land and then tilt so you can see what the hell's going on.
I was just getting my revenge. It was like,
Or use the new Beta Flight Rescue mode and have it disarm in the air for you. It works
I
quite
think
well.
if I'm flying at really high tilt, the way I land is like I come in to the area I want to land, looking at where I'm going to land, so a really high tilt, and then I'll pull back while throttling down, and when I sense that I'm starting to like move backwards, then I'll
That's
try
how
and
you
be
know.
on the ground at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really be able to pitch forward, or else you're gonna just go way forward. You're gonna be missing your landing spot.
Just mess up your props. No one wants
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I do quite enjoy it, especially with like ultralight micros where you've got a lot of power, because you don't kill the batteries that quickly if you have a bunch of tilt on, and it just makes for a more adventurous flying, because they don't go that fast unless you put a load of tilt on them. You're just pootling around. No, it's a pretty slow flying experience otherwise.
Shall I put up some of the Kebab FPV? I put some steel cable on the quad.
I didn't get
I
around to
haven't
watching
watched
that
it.
video. What on earth was he on about?
I don't know, but
Every now and then I feel like
Yeah,
he
I've
goes
seen-
into
I've
the
seen the
desert, does a bunch
thumbnail,
of
but that's it.
ayahuasca, and comes out with a new idea for flying.
yeah, I think there's like some steel cable, so it dampens the top plate from the bottom plate, kind of. I don't know 100%.
Steel
But-
cable of all the things, like
Yeah,
Wasn't this a David Winterstall thing from like 12 years ago? Steel cable dampening.
well, don't forget Tommy with clean and dirty plate.
it's
well.
steel. Wouldn't you use aluminium or something that's not like a massive weight that's going to throw off everything else?
I don't know, but the graph looks promising. Hard mount, thin steel, thick steel.
He's got a
We're
massive
looking at the
spike of
black
noise,
box.
though.
The EBR FPV
How is
said
that
his
better?
conclusion is the steel cable did not work for dampening. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched this, so
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
fair play for taking the time to try it out, I guess.
To be fair, it's very useful when people share things that didn't work as well. Like lolly sticks also don't work for dampening, or cockroaches, but steel cables where you'd think they might,
earplugs.
not so much. Oh, don't start. How many have I got on my tricopter? There's like 50 on there, all stuck down.
Yeah,
These days, do you even really need to worry? Like, you've got a GoPro on it, and the GoPros are pretty great at dampening anyway, unless you're flying with one of those O3 units. You need to
I tend
futz
to
with it
think
a bit.
so. People
It does
seem to be
seem
very
like that.
keen. Like, if there's even the slightest wobble in any footage, they're like, "Oh, this is crap. It needs sorting out. I need to fix it."
Fix it in post.
They've
Call it
become
good.
very, very demanding that
Critical.
everything must be absolutely perfect now.
very critical.
Well, I
With
guess
his
Mm.
pursuit of perfection.
with how easy it is to, I guess maybe this could come off as naive, but with how easy it is to get things looking perfect these days, that's what we expect. Everyone just wants, the smoothest and the cleanest and the,
Well, I can't even get the exposure right, so
that's
You
just a very, very easy setting to change, which I will help you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Did you hear the implication there, Jack? He says you suck.
Disneyland. I shouldn't really do
Oh.
that. It's politically correct, but
Disneyland? What do you mean?
claiming I was special and on a day trip to
Ah.
Disneyland.
Yes. Any plans for episode 400? Yes, we should make Frank come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good,
Yep.
good idea, Frank.
Frank,
Thank
And
you for
Tony.
mentioning. We
Frank,
will
Frank,
see you at episode 400.
We love Frank.
Thank you for volunteering to organise episode 400, Frank. Appreciate it.
Frank's on,
Yeah.
Tony's on. Everyone send an email to Andy RC and with the subject "You are a slag" and tell him to come on LDO 400. The team's getting back together. Everyone. What, Frank?
Speaking
why
of
are you
Andy
in
RC, we talked briefly about doing another run of dog poo bin stickers. I said I'd make that happen if we probably just need to make sure that other people actually want the stickers as well, Jack, I guess.
I don't think they do.
That doesn't come into Jack's business plan. Is make the stickers, sell them at a loss. Done. Yay.
Yes, that's how we. It's the same with the shirt.
how-
You print
How we
one,
do things.
find out no one wants it. Never
But
seen
I
it
had to
again.
hand in a work laptop, you see, so I'm down a dog poo bin sticker. So I was thinking, well, push comes to shove.
Did you
How
only
about
have
I do
one?
a run of the dog poo bin stickers? So now I can put more dog poo bin stickers on future laptops.
Yeah. My other problem is I've had to change my cat to a copyright-free cat. So I need more
That
of
was
One
a
of
those.
the
bit of a
collector's
stretch.
items.
Surely there's another sticker printing service that would let you use OG Cat.
Nah.
Didn't you
It just
hand draw
got
it?
it just got annoying.
Didn't you hand draw the cat?
Oh yeah, I redone it, but you
No,
know, I
originally
mean,
you didn't rip it off. I thought it was hand drawn by you, wasn't it, with the goggles on?
no,
Oh.
like Dan done it. It was a homage. It got redone. It was a homage of another cat, but it's because I just love cats. But you know, I mean, these people were giving me hassle about a photoshopped meme of Tony and like thinking it was the real Vin Diesel. You know, and then not.
We should put
You might need a
Tony's
different
arms
printing
on. We said this
service.
originally. You've got to shrink the arms down quite considerably and just
Yeah.
have like it'll be recognizable.
I know it was just like, yeah, it was just a nightmare. Like every time I go and do something, and the thing is they don't contact me. They just leave it till I go, hey, where's my stickers? And they're like, we've got copyright concerns, and it's like, that's nice. Didn't think about letting me know. So
Can't. Yeah, it feels like something you should just be able to do at home on a printer. Like
yeah, but then it's like, you
obviously
know,
not foil, but
yeah, and then obviously like cutting the shape out as well.
So we need the print on the
Plotter.
good stuff and have some sort of vinyl cutter to then print them out. Or cut them
Yeah,
out,
to
probably.
cut them. Too much money to invest, sell at a loss.
We're spending all our money on stickers and T-shirts that no one wants. We can't afford a printer as well.
I know.
oh dear.
That's funny.
Caroline,
I
what's
saw-
your plan?
I was to say I saw an old friend today that was reducing his load of stuff. So I now have an extra 12 motors and 15 ESCs and things like that, and a new plane. But I've also got another tricopter, which is kind of cool because I always wanted to find. Since we spoke about it last time, and we talked about like what's flying a tricopter on Betaflight using decent stuff like, and my one feels too nostalgic to do stuff to it, so I'm going to use his one, which is built in almost the same way. It's got the old DT750s. It's got a KK2 on there. We rip that out. We
Yes.
put in proper ESCs and a proper flight controller, and we find out, can you rip something with B&Q wooden arms and 12-inch props?
A rip will
Depends how
happen.
stiff those
gotta
wooden
be-
arms are.
Yeah, what type of
Well,
rip are
they're
we
pine,
talking
so
about?
that's very strong. They never break. It's going to be fine.
Right. Until you land.
Landing's fine.
You just go to the field with a couple of rods of pine and a saw, don't you? And call it good.
I've still got like loads of pre-drilled arms that I've made up years ago for my tricopter, so I could just swap one out easily.
Surprised you didn't just
I've-
like swing by B&Q on the way to the field. Fill up the car.
I used to buy it in bulk. I used to use my MX5, put the roof down, buy it in like 3-point-something meter lengths, and I just fill up the passenger seat, and then cut them to size.
Like him with a sports car. I bet he's going to do something cool. Yeah, stand in a field and give himself really nasty splinters.
Exactly. It's good stuff.
I've got
Absolutely.
Jack,
any recommendations on a budget 3D printer for TPU?
Numbskull said Ender 3 with direct drive.
Yeah,
The Creality
one again.
ones are quite well reviewed. They come out near the top of the charts. People slag them off a lot, but I think actually they're pretty good. And there's a few upgrade options if you really want to. If you're going to do TPU, go for something that's smaller rather than a big printer, because the smaller you get, like the faster you can run them without the whole structure vibrating. He said
That's not
budget.
bad.
He said budget, Curry.
Oh, that's not budget.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
Wait,
specifically
it's budget
why
for
I
me.
haven't mentioned my guy over there, which is
Mine was free. That's ultimate budget.
first start a YouTube channel, then spend 5 years promoting stuff, and then
That's how you do it.
I've got an S1.
Yeah, everybody likes the Ender 3, though, don't they? Like NJ and NDRC both got it, and then started doing their little mods to it to make it better. Seemed good.
I mean, I like the Voron 0.1. It's nice, but mine's heavily customized, and I've kind of got into a situation where I need to swap the hot end because it stopped accurately reading temperatures. And I figured that I think when it was built, there was some modifications done to the plugs, and they use Molex Microfit 3mm connectors, which are apparently rare as hen's teeth, especially that the 2-pin one has two different orientations. One is vertical with the clip at the top, and the other is horizontal with the clip on the wide face. And yeah, surprise, surprise, mine is using the different orientation than the actual normal provided one. So it's just looking very complex to change the heater, unfortunately.
What about the Easy 3 X1 Mini 3D printer, says Caroline, for Jack? Just over 100 quid. And does it do TPU okay, Caroline? That's what he wants. Just wants to churn out GoPro mounts endlessly.
I'm all right.
Yeah, Boondock Striker says Ender 3 is on sale at Microsoft Center, $200 in store only.
It's 80 quid.
Ooh.
Oh my word! There's a 5% voucher as well. I could buy that just to print some TPU while I'm waiting for parts to arrive for this.
What, the Easy Thread?
The Easy Thread, yeah. X1 Mini is on Amazon. It's 80 quid, and then there's a 5% voucher, which would take off another 4 quid, so it'd be 66 quid. Sorry, 76 quid.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have a 3D printer yet, and I kind of want one, but I also kind of don't want one. But you kind of need one in this hobby, it seems like, or you need to have a friend who has one.
How do you make parts if you don't have a part? That's weird.
Yeah,
I never had to make a part, really. I mean, I have a buddy of mine in Taiwan actually designed this mount for me based on a different mount, and then someone I know in Toronto printed a bunch of them for me for free. So it's yeah, I don't know. It seems like a really big rabbit hole to get into, the whole 3D printing space. And I guess to get like really good quality prints, you have to really do your homework and put the time in. But or maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like that's the case. But
yeah, there's a whole vocabulary to learn, like with anything. It's not something you just pick up and start doing. There's
well, as long as you've got a friend that can print it for you, that's as good. It's like Tony doesn't work on his own quads; he just uses a jack to make it for him.
Yeah. You have an available jack.
I mean, I don't, if I got to pay a couple bucks here or there, I don't mind. But I mean, how much is a good printer? Is at least a good couple $100, right? And then the TPU's got to be at least another $30-$40, and then
yeah, it's about 30 or so bucks for a spool, but spools last seemingly forever. Just
yeah.
seems to last forever.
You can spend like 10 hours of your life printing a tiny thing that you'd get free in McDonald's and throw away. What could be better than that?
And then have to pay for the electricity to use
Well,
it.
it does
that
also
sounds
mean
great.
you get the ability to, if you get to the point where you understand the language, you can sketch up stuff yourself, or you could say, I don't quite like this camera mount, I want it to be slightly bigger here, and you can sort of stretch it and deform it, put something else stuck on the side of it, and then just print it and make it happen, which is, it's kind of cool the first time you do it.
I
You
think it's kind
rapidly
of cool
realise
when
how
you
difficult it is.
you can literally draw something, hit a button, and it pops out, and you're like, "Oh, I made that." It's it's shit, but I made it, and then you can go back and make it better, and you get good stuff eventually.
I mean, it does seem pretty cool. Like, I mean, and it's not just FPV related, right? You can literally print stuff for things you need around the house, maybe little random like knickknacks you want to give to friends or whatever, right? Your imagination is basically the boundaries on 3D printing.
I've printed all my console controllers are sat behind, well, in front of me on the wall, which are all 3D printed, and little holders for everything. And I printed holders downstairs for bits of Dyson Hoover extensions, just clip in on the wall.
Huh.
All good.
Yeah,
Right.
that seems pretty cool.
It's handy. It enables you to reuse a lot of modern plastic stuff. If you worry about plastic waste, because tiny bits of plastic snap off stuff and you just have to throw the whole larger piece away, then you can kind of just print replacements. It's helped me quite a few times.
Right. So I'm gonna say an idea. You guys are gonna say whether it's good or not. We're gonna wait a few weeks and then see if it appears somewhere. So
the suspense.
I've had an idea.
Oh,
See
what?
these?
No.
What,
No, what is
shapes?
it?
That is a thing that you can't say what it is on YouTube.
Oops.
But
But I don't know what it
Really?
is. What is it?
Well, we don't know what it is anyway.
Didn't I
It
just
just
say
keeps
it?
overexposing. He hasn't got his exposure
We
right
just see
again,
a
Cole.
bright
Tell him.
white light. We
Jack,
can't see.
exposure.
Oh,
this
it's
one.
It's a pen.
Boomy
Yeah.
Fun Stick.
No, don't say.
You can't say that on YouTube?
Yeah,
It's not.
right.
What?
Can you write it in the private chat? 'Cause I haven't got a fucking clue.
You cannot
Well,
say a moisture
you are
phase
such a boomer.
moisture phase converter. It's a
Yes,
mo-
moisture phase converter.
A sucky,
Now,
smoky. A sucky, smoky.
These are disposable, but if you go and find them and pick them up off the floor,
Like Jack does every time he
like-
sees them.
Can someone
Garbage
write in the
picker.
chat what they're talking
it's a
about? I haven't
sensible
got a
thing if you're
Scooby.
immune compromised. You just pick random stuff off the floor and take it home and cut it up with pliers.
yeah. So then, look inside them. They have little batteries, and if you rip them open and then get the little battery, I've
gotta-
been thinking, how many of these
How many
little
of these
mini
do you
batteries
see on the floor? I see like one or two once every couple of weeks. Are they just everywhere where you are?
Yeah, they're just everywhere.
I've never
Anywhere
seen these on the
there's
floor.
people
I clearly
between
live
the
in a much
ages-
more middle class area.
Well, anybody between the ages of like 14 to like 30 is probably sucking
Yeah.
on these.
So I've
Don't do that,
I've
Randall.
collected a load of them. There you go. Look, and they're disposable.
Are those lipos or li-ions?
They're lipos.
Ah.
So
Little pouches.
I'm thinking, let's stick a load of these together and try and fire a quad with them.
Uh-oh. Yeah, but what's the C rating on those?
But
Or what's
surely
the-
you would want
We
a
literally
janky
watched
motor to go
Caroline's
with your
video
janky battery.
about making these packs and saying this is terrifying. Don't ever do this. And you're
how
suggesting we find thrown away random lipo batteries and just join them
Little
together
boxes.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with
Good
it, can it? You do it
idea.
like that.
Who knows if they've been
We
sitting
don't
out
know
in
the
the rain.
capacity, the C rating,
Wow.
the anything. Oh my
Jack is
god!
collecting. Jack is a
I've
I feel at this
got
point that nothing can go wrong.
I have quite a large collection, and
All
when
right.
they're free, Who
You keep
gives
those
a
just
shit
below the
about-
desk where you knock your drinks over all the time, just for safety.
Yeah.
Do you literally
Yeah,
have a
okay.
sign? You hold it up and just says "hand jobs for vapes" or something to get all these. I don't know what.
Look,
How are you finding all of these?
YouTube
been-
might
He's
censor
going.
that,
He's going
but
out with a
only
magnifying
for-
glass and
only
a metal
for the
detector.
face conversion mention.
yeah. So
Oh.
I've saved up a lot. I've been doing this for a while now.
Metal
Right.
detector, magnifying
How many
glass,
signs have you
And-
had to write to offer your
hat.
battery collection service?
And capacity, when in series, can be quite large.
Saucy.
So
So
I'm
can the
gonna-
fire.
When in parallel, you mean? Capacity in parallel.
yeah, parallel, and then obviously
Well, you've got
we'll go
series and parallel, isn't it?
And obviously, you've got to
Yeah.
get it up to 6S.
Oh,
and I'm
Jesus
imagining
Christ.
No,
the combined
4.
cell would... No, 6. The
Let's do
combined cell
100S.
would just be a mass of tape with a couple of wires coming out the side, right?
I don't know. Yeah, but that's
Just
my
make
plan.
Just make a 100S pack, Jack.
Are you
That'd
gonna
be great?
what are you gonna put like okay, so it's 4 is easier. So 4 in series and then many in parallel. And you put like a balance plug on it and get it
No, we're only doing this
rechargeable,
once.
just a one shot.
We're just charging it right up, seeing how well it works, and then going from
But
there.
we don't know. We don't know how out of balance the cells are going to be before you start charging them. Are you sure you don't want to put a balance lead on there?
You're gonna have
No.
to do one at a time, get them to a certain voltage, and then
They all start getting to all storage charge, solder them together, then charge it up carefully and very
just do it
slowly.
outside, Jack. Please do it outside.
Yeah, of course.
Are you going to film this when you solder this together? Because
No,
I want to know what the flames look like.
I'm gonna do it outside.
Yeah, we should
That is
definitely
a
live
definite.
stream this.
Look, if the police got you for trying to open the door to your own car, if they see someone outside meddling about with a series of batteries,
I
yeah,
know, yeah, true.
you
That
better be
looks
ready
so
to get
sketchy.
tased.
that looks very sketchy.
But that's my plan anyway.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to put it out there, see what happens, and see
Fair
whether
enough.
anyone will do it first.
I think you probably want to find out what the C rating was, so you had an idea of like how much current can they actually sustain. Because you're effectively playing
Right,
with
they're-
discarded batteries. They're not even brand new, right?
Yeah,
As long as you just put enough in parallel, then we.
I think
you
you
know,
need
the
to put the
speed rating
balance
is
lead on them
important.
and charge the suckers up, albeit at probably like 0.2C, just to make sure that you actually put charge into them and keep the smoke inside, and probably do it in the garden. You know, turn on the charger with a large wooden pole or something.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
well,
good
I just-
idea, but I think it's only something you could do in Brighton because I've never ever seen discarded these
Yeah.
things around anywhere else.
Everyone here has like the rechargeable ones, not the single use. They've got the rechargeable ones with that big canister on the side.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
the-
it's like
these-
high schoolers and stuff, like younger crowds that buy these ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I'm just part of me is like doing this because of like the recycling environmental thing.
Sure, Jack.
Yeah.
You're a tree hugger. He's a tree hugger.
You are an inspiration for green people everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I look.
Save the
This would have
planet.
been e-waste. This would have been a blight on society.
And you have started your own recycling factory in your own apartment. We love this.
No,
Jack. This is-
outside my own apartment.
well, the storage. But
We should call
yes.
Greta Thunberg and tell her that what you're doing.
I
just in
want a
case she wants
Nobel
to-
Prize for this.
Saving the world.
Laugh
Saving the
all you
world.
want.
Well, hey,
You
if
know.
anyone's gonna do it, it's you, Jack. Let's see you do it.
If anyone's that demented, but yeah, you just kind of snip stuff and kind of hope for the best.
Oh God, I was gonna swear, but yeah, that's hilarious.
I have as much confidence for you as like when I first saw Peter Schreipel put together one of these homemade airplanes and fly it. And even my wife, who was just casually walking by, said he's going to die soon.
Yeah, I'm still surprised he's got like, as far as we can tell, full complement of limbs and really minimal scar tissue. It's fairly impressive.
I know. I literally thought
Looks
his
better off than
parents
most bike riders. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. I literally thought his parents bought that dog to soften the blow of his loss.
Yeah. He's got like a pimp lifestyle, but the mini-sized version, where he's got the house with the beautiful view, but it's just like 5 meters long trailer, and he's got a boat, but it's just the size of a rowing boat with really nice wood superstructure on it and some lipos to pull it along. And he's got several airplanes, but they're all like, they weigh less than he does, and they fly like 3 meters off the ground. It's kind of mad. I'd really like to go for a distance record on one of them, like to try and seriously like vacation on an aeroplane that size, and say, to do a proper vacation, you're going to have to travel at least, say, 200 miles to go somewhere else. Just like put enough luggage that you've got like a change of clothes and a toothbrush, and then go vacationing on one.
Yes, I must say this is heavily inspired by BigClive.com.
Oh, yeah. He's done some really interesting stuff.
But I just want to see
a lot of interesting drinks.
Whether a certain group of people will end up, going, "Ooh," and then doing it first. Which is fine. I can live with that. And if they do, then I will take all these batteries and just take them to the recycling plant. And then
give it a go, I'm sure.
Do you want to do it? I'll build you one. If I build the battery, will you fly it?
Yeah, I'll put it on a quad and fly it and sag the hell out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's it settled.
I've got a variety of small quads from like 2-cell to 3-cell, so you'd have an easy time building something of that size. Wouldn't need too many of them. Yeah, because to try and put it on a 5-inch might be difficult, but I've got a load of micros I could try with that, sure.
Even better.
I was going to shout out to Failsafe. Congrats on the music video. He did some footage for Raffi Maxwell's music video, and while I don't think much of the music, the flying is absolutely awesome. He's done a great job flying for that. It's got some really interesting shots, and yeah, smooth on the sticks as ever, man. Good job.
Sweet. Well, on that note, unfortunately, that is all the time we have this week.
That's all we got time for. Our show is sponsored by our lovely Patreons who are whizzing past at the bottom of this. So if you're listening to this audio and all the swearing's been cut out, it has been done because those people rule and rock. People like David Lockhart, Daniel Upton, Daniel Carboni, Don Robinson, Ben Scarro, FX Node, all those sort of people. Thank you, Swanee
all
Bean.
you awesome people.
Yep.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Do it.
Bedlin Enzi.
You've been joined by everyone's favourite Curry Kitten.
Goodbye.
The man with the moustache, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
The man with a slightly high mic.
See ya.
And I've been Brighton Till I Fly. Someone press end. Thank you. Good night. As I need to wash my hands.
Like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.
And email Andy RC to tell him he's on next week.
Oh, next week 400. Tune in. Cool stuff.
Yep.
That's thrown out.
Cool. Good night.
Good night.